My beloved child, let your heart settle into clarity. For there are moments when I do not come only to comfort you with tenderness, but also to protect you through loving reminders. I do not want you to walk in confusion, nor do I want you to live under the shadow of fear. But I want you to know how to discern. There are things your eyes see that are only the outer covering, while the true movements are hidden deeper behind words, attitude, and smiles that seem harmless. You do not need to suspect everyone, but you need to stay awake to the things that suddenly disturb the peace within you. When I place a gentle warning in your heart, do not quickly dismiss it simply because someone appears kind. Not every tenderness comes from sincere love, and not every open door leads you to a place of peace. I have been watching what has been happening around you for a long time. I see the encounters that seem ordinary, the carefully chosen words, the concern that appears soft yet pulls you into a hazy place. You have wondered why, after certain conversations, you do not feel lighter inside but heavier. You have tried to convince yourself that perhaps you are overthinking, perhaps you are too sensitive, perhaps things are not as serious as what you feel. But my child, I placed within you a holy sensitivity, not so you would torment yourself, but so you could recognize when something is no longer upright. If someone's presence continually causes you to lose your peace, makes you shrink back, forces you to measure every word, or makes you question your own worth, then pause and listen to what I am showing you. There are people who come close to you, not to support you, but to study your weaknesses. They may use sweet words, beautiful promises, and gestures that seem full of goodwill to make you lower the wise boundaries around your life. But I do not want you to confuse mercy with gullibility. Mercy helps you love others in the light. Gullibility can cause you to hand the keys of your life to hands that do not know how to cherish them. I am not telling you to close your heart tightly, but I am teaching you to guard what is precious that I have placed within you. Purity does not mean ignorance. Gentleness does not mean allowing others to step across your boundaries. Forgiveness does not mean you must continue standing in a place that wounds you. Therefore, in this season, I am inviting you to withdraw into the secret place with me. This hiding is not running away, nor is it a sign of weakness. It is the wisdom of one who knows that not every battle needs to be answered with words. Not every slander requires you to rush to explain yourself, and not every invitation is worthy of your entrance. There are times when silence is a shield. There are times when distance is protection. There are times when leaving a conversation, a connection, or an environment is the most beautiful act of obedience. When I tell you to stop, stop. When I place unease within you about a path, slow down. When I show you that something is no longer clean, do not try to decorate it with your own hope. Remember the story of Joseph, the one who was given dreams from his youth. He did not expect that those closest to him would become jealous. Nor did he expect that the beloved coat that once symbolized favor would become the very thing that stirred opposition in others. But even when he was thrown into the pit, even when he was sold away from the place he knew, my hand never left him. What others intended to use to bring him low, I used to bring him into a position where he would help many people. Do you see? I do not always prevent every scheme from appearing, but I always have the power to turn what is dark into a path that leads to a brighter purpose. Yet Joseph also had to learn to keep his heart from bitterness, to walk through injustice without losing his integrity, and to wait for my timing to bring the truth into the light. What I am teaching you today is the same. You do not need to retaliate. You do not need to prove that you are right through haste. You do not need to step into an argument simply to satisfy the hurt in your heart. Let me be the one who examines what is hidden. Let me reveal what needs to be revealed at the right time. Your part is to keep your heart clean, to keep your words gracious, and to keep your steps from entering places I have warned you about. When you choose silence and wisdom, heaven does not see it as defeat. When you choose to step back to protect your peace, I do not see it as cowardice. When you choose not to answer deceit with deceit, you are keeping yourself in the realm of light that I have prepared for you. I know you have been hurt by people who came close with a friendly appearance. I know there were times you opened your heart and received disappointment. Times you trusted and were misunderstood. The times you gave sincerity to someone who did not know how to protect it. But my beloved child, do not let those things make your heart cold and hard. I am not calling you to become suspicious. I am calling you to become discerning. That discernment will help you love without blindness. Trust without losing judgment. Forgive without continuing to give power to what hurts you. This is a beautiful maturity. Not loud, not bitter, but steady like a lamp placed in a room sheltered from the wind. In the coming days, pay attention to the fruit of peace within you. If an invitation requires you to compromise what is upright, refuse it. If a connection forces you to live smaller, step out of it. If a person continually causes you to question the light I have placed within you, bring everything before me, before you decide to continue. You do not need to explain all your boundaries to people who never intended to respect them. There are doors you close not because you hate anyone, but because you have learned to guard the garden I entrusted to you. And when you guard what I have given, you are honoring the very work I have built within you through many seasons of testing. Hide yourself in me through prayer, through stillness, through not rushing to share every plan with everyone. There are seeds that need to be covered beneath the soil before they sprout. There are promises that need to be kept in silence before they take form. There are directions that, if spoken too soon, can be shaken by the noise outside. I want you to learn to walk discreetly, not because you are afraid of anyone, but because you understand that precious things need to be protected in their earliest season. I am covering you with peace, but you must also cooperate with me through watchfulness, through choosing wise companions, and through leaving conversations that pull you beneath the dignity I have given you. My beloved child, do not tremble before the things I allow you to recognize. The revealing of truth is not meant to make you panic, but to set you free. Whatever is not upright cannot remain hidden in darkness forever. Whatever is built on falsehood cannot stand firm before my light. As for you, stand in peace. Let your heart remain tender, but let your inner eyes stay awake. Let your words become fewer, but your wisdom grow deeper. Let your steps be slow, yet steady in my guidance. I am going before you, closing dangerous paths, opening safe ways, and placing protection around you that no dark scheme can cross when you remain in obedience. So rest in me, but do not fall asleep in carelessness. Love, but discern. Forgive, but keep boundaries. Be at peace, but stay awake. I have not left you alone in the midst of these complicated things. I am teaching you to grow, not through fear, but through light. I am bringing you out of confusion, not through violent noise, but through a gentle yet clear reminder. You are protected when you listen. You are guided when you surrender. And when you choose to follow the wisdom I have placed in your heart, the things that were once set up to harm you will become evidence that my hand is still covering your life, preserving you from what your eyes have not yet seen, and leading you into the peace I prepared for you long ago. My beloved child, come near to me in this moment and let your heart settle like soft soil, receiving the first rain of the season. There are things I am about to say, not to make you afraid, but to prepare you to pass through an important turning point with peace, wisdom, and steadfast trust. Life does not mature only through peaceful days, nor does it expand only through what you easily receive. There are seasons when I allow the wind to blow stronger, not to knock you down, but to help you realize how deeply your roots have grown in. My love, there are changes that come unexpectedly, not to take away your hope, but to awaken in you a holy strength that calm days could never reveal. For a long time, I have seen you in every small step. In every moment you tried to hold a smile while your heart was heavy. In every night you quietly wondered why some things you loved could not remain beside you forever. You have learned to love, to wait, to sacrifice, to bond with people who once brought warmth into your life. I do not take lightly any connection that has touched your heart. I know the name of every person you love. I know the memories you never speak of. I know even the small things that make you remember, the habits, the words, the silences, the moments of presence that seemed ordinary but became lasting marks within you. But my child, there are people placed in your life to walk with you for a stretch of the road, not to remain for the entire journey. That does not mean the love you have for them is wrong, nor does it mean what is past was useless. Every person who comes near you brings a lesson, a reflection, a gift, or a reminder. Some teach you to open your heart. Some teach you to forgive. Some teach you to stand firm after being wounded. Some teach you that my presence is the only refuge that never changes. And when the appointed time has fully come, I will gently loosen certain things from your hands, not because I want to hurt you, but because I am bringing you into a more mature season. In this month of July, you may clearly feel a shift around familiar relationships. Two people you cherish may move away from the rhythm of your daily life in a way that leaves your heart feeling empty. That departure may come as a farewell, a distance, a change in circumstances, or a new path that each person must walk on their own. When that happens, do not quickly think that you have been left behind. Do not let emptiness convince you that I have forgotten you. Do not let a moment of imbalance cause you to deny everything I have built within you. For right in the middle of that empty space, I am standing there, not distant, not cold, not silent in the way you imagine, but holding you with a presence deeper than any presence you have ever known. I know that when someone familiar leaves your daily life, the emptiness is not only in the place where they once stood, but also spreads into habits, memories, plans, and things you once thought would last for a long time. I know there are sorrows that are not loud but persistent, like drops of water falling onto stone day after day. I know you may ask yourself what you did wrong, whether you could have kept them with different words, a different action, or a greater effort. But my beloved child, not every departure is the result of fault. There are departures that are part of a deeper arrangement, where I untie the cords that have completed their role so you may be free to step into something greater. Remember the story of Ruth and Naomi. After repeated losses, Naomi thought her life had only bitterness left, while Ruth stood at a crossroads where she could return to the familiar or follow a path full of uncertainty. But in the very season that seemed empty, a new door opened. Ruth walked in faithfulness, gathering small heads of grain in a field without knowing that this place would become the meeting point of restoration. Do you see? What appears outwardly as loss may be the beginning of a chapter of blessing. The steps wet with tears today may lead you to the place where tomorrow you will understand that I had been quietly preparing it for a very long time. Therefore, when those two familiar figures no longer stand near you as before, allow yourself to grieve, but do not let grief become a prison. Allow yourself to remember, but do not turn memories into chains. Be grateful for the good they once brought, but do not cling so tightly that you lose the peace I am giving you. True love is not always holding on. Sometimes, love is placing others into my hands, blessing their path, and allowing yourself to continue growing in the light. Forgiveness is not denying pain, but refusing to let pain rule your coming days. Trust is not pretending everything is easy, but choosing to hold my hand while your heart is still trembling. You will learn something very precious in this season. Standing alone does not mean being abandoned. There are times when I separate you from familiar noise so you can hear my voice more clearly. There are times when I allow the space around you to become quieter so you can recognize that I have never left you. When you no longer depend too heavily on the presence of others in order to feel safe, you will discover a foundation of peace that does not depend on who comes or who goes. This is not a cold hardness, but the gentle steadiness of a heart that knows it is loved by the one who never changes. I am not asking you to be strong in a way that hides every emotion. I am not telling you to smile when your heart is hurting. I am only inviting you not to forget that your tears are still held in my arms. When the familiar room feels wider because someone's voice is missing, call on me. When you pass through a place that brings back old memories, let me walk with you. When you want to send a message but do not know whether you should, pause in peace and ask me what is wise. I will not leave you alone in those small decisions. I will teach you how to love without being pulled into fear, how to let go without bitterness, and how to continue without losing your tenderness. Every change of season has its own sound. Old leaves fall not because the tree has died, but because the tree is preparing for a new cycle. Empty spaces appear not to mock you, but to make room for what I am about to sow. If you keep holding tightly to everything that is past, your hands will have no space left to receive what is new. But when you courageously open your hands, even while tears still rest on your lashes, you will see that I do not take away without giving support in return. Perhaps I will not replace one person with another in the way you expect. Perhaps I will not immediately fill the empty space with laughter or busyness, but I will first fill you with my presence, so that whatever comes afterward will not become a place of dependence, but a blessing you know how to cherish. So, my beloved child, step into this month of July with a watchful heart, but without panic. Keep your heart tender, but do not lose wisdom. Love deeply, but do not forget that I am the first and final source of love for you. If there is a departure, let it happen in the light, not in bitterness. If there are tears, let those tears water the new soil within you. If there is silence, let that silence become the place where you hear me more clearly. I am staying where others cannot stay. I am lifting you where familiar hands can no longer reach. I am turning what you call loss into a hallway that leads you into deeper maturity, peace, and freedom. You do not need to understand everything today. You only need to trust that no change escapes my sight. No separation lies beyond my ability to heal, and no emptiness is so large that my love cannot fill it. Let your heart rest in me. Let this month become not the mark of brokenness, but the mark of growth. I will go before you to prepare the way, behind you to protect you, and within every breath of yours to remind you you are still loved, still guided, still covered, and your new season is being opened by me in a gentler way than you can imagine. My beloved child, let every outside noise fade for a moment, and let your heart become still like the surface of a lake when the dawn has just touched it. I am calling you not with the noise of the world, nor with words that make you confused, but with a gentle yet deep resonance, a resonance that has come to you many times in nights when you thought you were alone. There are moments in life that do not come merely to pass like other days. They come like a door open before your eyes, like an invitation from above, like the Father's hand resting gently on your shoulder and saying, "It is time for you to step out of the waiting place." What you are feeling is not coincidence. nor is it a passing emotion. It is the awakening of the noble part within you, the part I have preserved, nourished, and quietly prepared through many seasons of sunlight and rain. I know there were days when you walked on and no one recognized your courage. You smiled while you were full of questions inside. You continued to rise when your heart was still trembling. You tried to keep softness in your heart in the midst of a world that could easily make you dry and hardened. Those things are not small in my eyes. Every time you chose perseverance instead of giving up, every time you chose to turn toward the light instead of letting sorrow pull you down, every time you whispered to me through a tired breath when you no longer had enough words to pray, I heard it all. You thought those sighs disappeared into empty space. But no, my child, I received them as the most sincere prayers rising from the deepest place within you. Now I am bringing you to a new threshold. Not so you will fear the unknown, but so you will recognize that the old seasons have completed their work. There were trials that hurt you, but those very trials taught you to discern what is truly precious. There were losses that once made you think you had been left behind, but in truth, I used them to separate you from what no longer suited the path I am opening. There were answers that came late, not because I forgot you, but because I was preparing in you a greater capacity, a deeper steadiness, and a faith no longer based only on what the eyes can see. You have not been delayed without meaning. You have been shaped in silence so you can carry what is about to be entrusted to you. Therefore, do not take lightly the stirring rising within you now. When you feel your heart being awakened, when a gentle yet powerful prompting draws you toward truth, that is, when I am touching the most sincere part of you, I am not calling you only so you will listen and then continue living as before. I am calling you so you will realize that a new journey is opening. A journey that cannot be walked half-heartedly and cannot carry the bonds that once slowed you down. You do not need to become perfect in order to begin, but you need to be honest. You do not need to know every stage of the road ahead, but you need to trust that my hand will guide you step by step. The surrender I desire from you is not loss, but liberation. It is not being stripped of the right to live, but being placed back into the right rhythm with my goodwill. I want to remind you of Abraham, the one who heard a call to leave the familiar place and walk toward a land he had never seen. He was not immediately given a complete map, nor was every turn of the journey explained to him. What he had was a promise, and what he needed was trust. He walked not because everything was clear, but because the one who called him was faithful. My beloved child, some spiritual journeys begin in the same way. I do not always lay the whole road before you, because if you saw everything, you might be overwhelmed by what is still far ahead. I lead you step by step, sign by sign, small piece by small piece, so you may learn that faith is not holding every detail tightly, but holding my hand in the midst of what has not yet been revealed. Look back, and you will see that I have not left you in any season. When you were strong, I was there to keep you from pride. When you were weak, I was there to lift you from despair. When you stood among difficult choices, I placed gentle reminders within you so you would not lose the way back to the light. There were times when you did not understand why a door closed, why a relationship changed, why a plan broke apart just when you thought it was about to take form. But my child, not everything that breaks is failure. Sometimes the breaking itself is the way I free you from a room that has become too small, in order to prepare you for a wider sky. What you once called loss may have been mercy, covered in a form you had not yet recognized. Now I am rekindling a pure fire within you, not the fire of haste that wants to prove itself to the world, nor the fire of ambition that causes you to forget peace. It is the fire of holy life, the fire of gentle courage, the fire of a heart that knows how to love and still discern, how to forgive and still move forward, how to wait without losing hope. I am calling you back to the beautiful essence I placed within you from the beginning. Before criticism caused you to shrink back, before wounds made you question your worth, before fear made you grow accustomed to living smaller than what I had intended. Listen to me. A new season is not only a change in outward circumstances. A new season begins when something within you no longer agrees with old limitations. It begins when you no longer call familiarity safety if it draws you away from truth. It begins when you dare to say yes to me, even while your heart still trembles, even while your eyes have not yet seen the full result. I do not ask you to take great steps in pride. I only invite you to take real steps in trust. One small decision today, if placed in obedience, can open a flow of blessing you have never imagined. So, my beloved child, do not delay the call that is sounding within you. Do not let old worries pull you back into the sleep of hesitation. Do not let the voice of fear convince you that you are not ready. Because I do not call you because you are enough according to the standards of the world. I call you because I know what I have planted within you. Lay down the burdens that no longer belong to you. Release the old definitions of yourself. Open your heart so I may pour into you the wisdom, peace, and strength needed for the path ahead. Your name has not been forgotten. Your journey is not meaningless. The years you endured in silence have become the ground for a more beautiful rising. From today onward, walk like one who knows they are loved, guided, and protected. When you do not know where to go, return to the peace I have placed within you. When you feel weak, remember that I never require you to carry everything by yourself. When you hear that deep call sounding again, do not run away, and do not belittle yourself. Say yes with a heart that has been healed piece by piece, with faith refined through the long night, with a tenderness that darkness could not steal. I am with you in this transformation, and what I have begun in you will not stop halfway. The new season has reached the threshold, and you, my beloved child, have been prepared to step into the light. My beloved child, now I am calling you to enter a new level of peace. Not the kind of peace that pretends there is no storm, but the kind of peace that still stands firm in the storm because it knows it is protected. You have been prepared through seasons no one understood. You have been taught through losses. You have been shaped through answers that came late. And today, as you read these words, I want you to remember that you do not need to prove your worth to people who do not have eyes to see the light within you. You also do not need to chase recognition from places that do not know how to love you with sincerity. Place your hand over your heart and breathe slowly. My child, let the noises in your mind settle like fine dust after the wind. I am nearer to you than you think. I am teaching you to trust the holy guidance that has saved you many times from things you never even knew. What you have gone through was not the end, but preparation. What you lost was not always punishment. Often, it was the way I brought you out of what had become too narrow for the journey ahead. Those who leave you cannot take away what I have placed within you, and the doors that close cannot stop me from opening a new way when the appointed time is fulfilled. Therefore, rise in softness yet firmness. Keep walking, not with haste, but with enlightened trust. Forgive without losing wisdom. Love without forgetting to guard yourself. Listen to the gentle prompting within. For many times, that is where I place direction for you. You are not lost. You are not abandoned. You are not too small for the great things that are coming. I saw you in the darkness, lifted you in silence, kept you through the long nights. And now I am bringing you closer to the realm of light that you have long been prepared to enter.